You did not agree to be someone's comfort without being someone's choice. But that is exactly what the no-label agreement becomes when you are with an avoidant partner and you are anxious enough to keep hoping the label will arrive later. Here is the hard truth. Most people do not get trapped because they are naive. They get trapped because the story sounds reasonable. The story sounds like maturity. The story sounds like not rushing. The story sounds like being chill. And your nervous system wants to believe the story because the connection feels real in moments. But the structure tells a different truth. The structure tells you what is actually happening, what you are actually paying, and what they are actually receiving. In a lot of no-label dynamics, the structure is this. You give relationship-level access, relationship-level loyalty, and relationship-level emotional labor, while they keep full exit rights and call it casual. That is the contract you never signed. Today, I am going to show you how to spot it early, how to stop negotiating yourself into smaller and smaller positions, and how to use simple tests that reveal capacity fast, without drama, without begging, and without turning your love into a performance. Because the goal is not to force a label. The goal is to stop living inside an arrangement where you are emotionally bonded, but not emotionally held. And I promise you this. By the end of this episode, you will be able to tell the difference between slow, healthy pacing and a no-label trap. You will know the exact sentences that keep you calm and powerful. And you will know what to do the moment someone tries to keep access while avoiding clarity. If this kind of clarity helps your nervous system settle, subscribe. PsychBond is a daily decoder for avoidant and anxious patterns, so you stop guessing. Now, let us start with the simplest frame. Story versus structure. The story is what people say. The structure is what happens repeatedly. The story might be, I do not like labels. I want to go with the flow. I do not want to rush. I am not ready for anything serious. I got hurt before. I am focusing on my life. I am dealing with stress. I do not want pressure. The story might even sound romantic. I like what we have. Why do we have to define it? The structure is the pattern underneath. Do they still want daily access to you? Do they still want your body, your attention, your emotional availability, your loyalty, your time, your weekends, your comfort, your patience? Do they still get partner benefits while refusing partner responsibility? Do they act like they are in your life, but keep you out of theirs? Do they say private things to you, but keep you hidden in daylight? Do they get irritated when you ask basic questions, but they still expect you to be there when they want closeness? That is structure. And anxious people often lose themselves because they keep listening to story while living inside structure. They say they are just scared. They say it will change with time. They say, I do not want to pressure them. They say, labels are just words. But the nervous system does not attach to words. The nervous system attaches to patterns. And a pattern where you are bonded but not held creates a specific kind of pain. It creates scanning. It creates bargaining. It creates a constant feeling of being almost chosen. And almost chosen is one of the most addictive positions a human can be in, because it makes your brain believe you can earn the last 10% if you just do it right. Before we go deeper, I want to name what the no-label agreement usually includes, so you can see whether you have been living inside it. It often includes exclusivity without commitment. It includes emotional intimacy without public stability. It includes relationship routines without relationship accountability. It includes partner access without partner clarity. And it includes one more thing that most people miss. It includes you agreeing to manage your needs quietly so the connection does not break. That is why anxious people feel like they are walking on glass, because the unspoken rule becomes, do not ask for too much. Do not ask for clarity. Do not ask for change. Do not ask for consistency, or you will be punished with distance. So you start shrinking to keep the peace. You start editing yourself. You start pre-apologizing for needs you have not even stated. And you call it being understanding. Now here is the part that matters. Not all no-label situations are traps. Some are just early dating. Some are two people pacing slowly and honestly. So we need a clean way to tell the difference. This is where structure wins. A healthy slow pace has movement toward clarity. It has alignment between words and behavior. It has basic respect for your nervous system. A trap has stagnation. A trap has avoidance of clarity. A trap has access without responsibility. A trap has warmth when you are easy and distance when you are real. Let us make that extremely concrete with a few scenes, because you will recognize yourself faster through moments than through definitions. Scene 1. You have been seeing each other for months. You talk every day. You sleep together. You have routines. You share vulnerabilities. They call you when they are stressed. They want you in their bed. But when you ask, "What are we?" they say, "Do we have to label it?" Or they say, "I do not want pressure." Or they say, "Why ruin something good?" Then they pull back. You feel guilty. You feel like you asked wrong. You feel like you ruined the vibe. So you stop asking. The connection returns. That is not neutral. That is training. Your nervous system learns that clarity equals abandonment. Scene 2. They tell you, "I am not ready for a relationship." But they act like your partner. They want your loyalty. They want your time. They want your emotional availability. They might even get jealous if someone else shows interest. But they also do not want to call you their partner. That is the no-label deal. It is exclusivity without responsibility. Scene 3. They keep you separate from the rest of their life. You do not meet friends. You do not meet family. You are not in daylight. You are in private. You are intense in private. You are invisible in public. And they call it privacy. They call it keeping things simple. They call it not wanting attention. But the structure is that you are hidden while they keep access. Scene 4. Every time closeness grows, they bring up the label conversation as something that makes them feel trapped. Then they ask you to be patient. You are patient. They take closeness again. Then they pull away again. The label stays out of reach. That is a loop. And loops keep anxious people stuck, because your mind keeps expecting the story to complete. Now I want to name what the anxious side is actually asking for, because this is where people get confused. You are not asking for a word. You are asking for safety. You are asking to know where you stand. You are asking for the ability to relax. You are asking for your nervous system to stop scanning. When you are in a no-label structure, Your nervous system cannot relax because you are not held. You are in an open ending. You are in a story that never completes. That is why you keep thinking. That is why you keep checking. That is why you keep replaying conversations. It feels like you are obsessed with them, but very often, you are obsessed with the uncertainty. Your brain hates open loops. When something is clear, your body can settle. When something is unclear, your brain goes into tracking mode. Tracking mode feels like focus, but it is actually threat response. It is the mind trying to solve what the body cannot tolerate. So, the first step is not to shame yourself. The first step is to call it what it is. Your nervous system is reacting to instability, not to your own weakness. Now, here is the key shift. Stop asking, "Do they like me?" Start asking, "What is the structure?" Stop asking, "Can I get them to choose me?" Start asking, "What does this cost me?" Stop asking, "Can I earn the label?" Start asking, "Do they have capacity for a real relationship, not just for closeness?" Capacity is not chemistry. Capacity is not texting. Capacity is not missing you. Capacity is the ability to show up consistently, repair conflict, hold your feelings without punishing you, and move toward clarity with integrity. If they do not have that, you cannot earn it. You can only observe it. And this is where anxious people lose years. They treat almost love like a test they can pass if they try hard enough. If I stay calm, they will not run. If I pull back, they will come closer. If I am more easygoing, they will feel safe. If I do not mention the label, they will choose it on their own. That turns love into a performance. And performance is exhausting. You start acting instead of being. You start managing instead of relating. You start living inside a role where your job is to not trigger their avoidance. That is not intimacy. That is self-abandonment dressed up as patience. So let us make this practical. How do you break the no-label agreement without turning it into a fight? You do it by changing the structure. You stop giving relationship-level access without relationship-level clarity. You stop paying with loyalty when you have no stability. You stop offering partner benefits when you are being placed in a casual box. This is not punishment. This is alignment. It is you saying, "I will not give more than the relationship can hold." And I know what your anxious mind is about to say. It is going to say, "But if I do that, I will lose them." You might, but listen carefully. If you can only keep someone by shrinking, you are already losing yourself. The goal is not to keep them at any cost. The goal is to build a structure that can hold you as a full human. Now, I want to give you 3 simple tests that reveal the truth fast. Not promises, not speeches, behavior. The first test is the clarity test. You say one calm sentence. "I enjoy you. I want something steady. What are you looking for?" That is it. You are not begging, you are not accusing, you are not giving a long explanation. You are simply asking for alignment. A person with capacity can answer. They might be nervous, but they can answer. A person without capacity will dodge, deflect, minimize, or punish the question. They might say, "Why are you asking this?" They might say, "Can we not do this right now?" They might say, "You are overthinking." They might go cold. They might disappear for 2 days and come back sweet, like nothing happened. That response is data about their capacity to handle intimacy. The second test is the daylight test. Do they integrate you into real life? Do they want you around their friends? Do they make simple plans in advance? Do they show up consistently when life is not romantic and private? Or are you mostly a private connection, a convenient connection, a late-night connection, a connection that happens when they feel lonely, stressed, bored, or overwhelmed? You do not need a grand introduction. You just need signs of inclusion. A person who wants a relationship tends to build a shared life. A person who wants access tends to keep you in a pocket. The third test is the boundary test. This one changes everything. You set one boundary that protects your nervous system, and you watch what happens. You say, I am not comfortable being exclusive without clarity. If we are building something, I am in. If not, I will keep my options open. Or you say, I do not do indefinite no label. I need a clear direction. If you are not ready, I respect that and I will step back. Watch their response. A healthy person might feel discomfort, but they respect the boundary. An avoidant person without capacity will often try to keep access while resisting the boundary. They might say, why are you giving ultimatums? They might say, you are pressuring me. They might try to guilt you. They might disappear. That is not love being lost. That is a structure being exposed. Now, I want to give you the exact sentences you can use, because anxious people tend to over-explain, and over-explaining is where you leak power. Here are the lines. I enjoy what we have. I want something steady. I am not available for an undefined situation long-term. I am not asking for a promise. I am asking for honesty about what you can offer. If you cannot do clarity, that is okay, and I will take space, because my nervous system needs steadiness. Notice the tone. Calm, kind, firm. No drama, no attack. It is just structure. Now, let us talk about the most common avoidant responses, so you do not get pulled into confusion. One response is the philosophy speech. They start talking about how labels are meaningless, how society pressures people, how love should be free, how they do not want to belong to anyone. That can sound deep, but it is often a way to avoid a simple agreement. That is story. You bring it back to structure. You say, I hear you. I still need a shared agreement about what this is. Another response is the time extension. They say, not now, but soon. They say, give me a little more time. Time can be real, but time without movement is a stall. So you say, I am open to moving slowly as long as there is a clear direction. What does moving forward look like to you? Another response is the guilt flip. They say, why can you not just enjoy it? They say, you are ruining it. They say, you are too much. That is punishment for needs. That is the training system. Your job is not to shrink. Your job is to stay steady. You say, I am enjoying it. I also need clarity to keep going. Another response is intimacy bait. They suddenly become very sweet, very affectionate, very intense. But they still will not clarify. That is how the system keeps you. The sweetness is the reward. The lack of clarity is the control. You do not reject the sweetness. You evaluate it. You say, I like feeling close to you. I need closeness and clarity together. Now I want to address the heartbreaking part. Sometimes you do all of this calmly, and they still choose no label. They still choose vague. They still choose the exit door. And your anxious mind will say, maybe if I had been more patient, maybe if I did not bring it up, maybe I ruined it. That is the trap talking. Because the truth is, if clarity ruins it, it was not stable. If a basic conversation about direction makes them disappear, they were not building a relationship, they were building access. And access is not love. Access is comfort. Access is convenience. Access is having you without holding you. You deserve to be held. Now let us go deeper into story versus structure, because this is how you stop repeating the pattern with the next person. The story of a no-label connection often sounds like, I am scared. I am healing. I have trauma. I have been hurt. I do not trust people. All of that can be true, but the structure might still be harmful. Pain does not give someone a license to take your peace. Healing does not give someone a license to keep you in limbo. Trauma might explain behavior, but it does not excuse it. You can have compassion and still require basics. You can understand their fear and still choose yourself. You do not need to hate them to stop participating. Boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are clarity. And clarity is kind. Now I want to show you what happens inside the anxious nervous system in a no-label dynamic. Because if you understand the mechanism, you stop blaming yourself and you start trusting your body. At first, you feel excitement. Then you feel uncertainty. Then you feel a drop. Then you seek reassurance. They give you warmth in small doses. Your body calms for a moment. Then uncertainty returns. That cycle teaches your brain to chase. It teaches your brain to work. It teaches your brain to obsess. And you start believing the obsession means the connection is deep. But obsession is often the mind trying to solve instability. When you are truly safe, you do not have to think this much. Safety is quiet. Safety does not require constant interpretation. So if you are thinking about them all day, it might not be love. It might be tracking mode. And the way out is not to get closure from them. The way out is to stop feeding the loop. You stop reacting to moments and you start choosing patterns. Patterns are what your nervous system lives in. Moments are what keep you addicted. That is why the no-label agreement is so expensive. It makes you live for moments. A warm night, a sweet message, a sudden surge of closeness. And then you pay for it with days of silence, confusion, and self-doubt. So here is the shift. You stop being moved by moments, and you start being guided by structure. Now, how do you stop feeding the loop in real life? You stop giving more than the structure can hold. If there is no agreement, you stop acting like there is. That might mean you stop being exclusive. That might mean you stop doing partner labor. That might mean you stop showing up as a spouse while being treated like an option. That might mean you take space. Not to manipulate, to regulate, to return to yourself. Because anxious people lose themselves slowly in no-label dynamics. They do not notice the day they stopped asking for what they need. They do not notice the day they started measuring their words. They do not notice the day they started accepting crumbs as progress. But your body notices. Your sleep changes. Your appetite changes. Your mood becomes tied to their texting. Your confidence gets quieter. Your world gets smaller. That is not romance. That is dysregulation. And you are allowed to choose a life where your nervous system can settle. Now I want to give you a simple way to frame the no-label agreement in your mind so you stop getting pulled into debate. A relationship is not a feeling. It is a shared agreement. If there is no shared agreement, there is no relationship. There is only contact. And contact can be beautiful, but it cannot demand loyalty the way a relationship does. So when someone wants relationship benefits but refuses relationship agreement, that is misalignment. You do not fix misalignment by explaining harder. You fix misalignment by stepping into alignment with yourself. You say, "I want a relationship." If you do not, I respect that and I will move accordingly. And then you actually move accordingly. Because the biggest reason no label traps last is that anxious people say boundaries and then abandon them when the person returns with warmth. The warmth feels like hope. The warmth feels like progress. But warmth without movement is not progress. It is a loop. So the question you ask yourself is simple. Is there movement toward clarity? Not promises, not sweet words, movement. Do they make plans? Do they integrate you? Do they talk about the future in a grounded way? Do they repair when they hurt you? Do they handle your needs without punishing you? Do they show consistency when you are real? That is capacity. And if you want a fast reality check, here it is. The right person does not only want you when it is easy. The right person can handle the simple sentence, "What are we building?" Now I want to help you avoid one more trap. The trap where you learn about avoidance and then you start excusing the structure. You start thinking, they just need time. I can be patient. Patience can be beautiful when it is paired with respect. But patience becomes self-harm when it is paired with punishment. If every time you ask for clarity, they withdraw, you are not being patient. You are being trained. So here is your anchor line. I do not do closeness that costs me my voice. If you have to shrink to keep them, you are not being loved. You are being managed. And management is not a bond, it is a system. A real bond can handle your full humanity. Let us end with a clean picture of what healthy slow looks like, so you have a standard you can trust. Healthy slow includes clear honesty. It includes consistent contact without hot and cold. It includes respect for your questions. It includes repair when there is rupture. It includes inclusion over time. It includes movement toward clarity, even if it is gradual. It sounds like, I like you. I want to keep building. I am moving toward a relationship with you, and I am not building this with anyone else. It looks like steady behavior. It feels like your body can breathe. The no-label trap feels like you are always one sentence away from losing them. And that is your nervous system telling you the truth. If you are in this right now, you do not need to panic. You do not need to explode. You do not need to demand. You just need to stop signing contracts with your behavior that no one agreed to with words. Bring story back to structure. Ask for clarity once. Set a boundary once. Watch behavior. Choose patterns. And if they respond by disappearing, that is not a tragedy. It is information. Because a healthy connection does not punish you for wanting a healthy connection. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.